Please join me in a warm welcome for our speaker, John Green.
Thank you so much. Hello. I'm sorry that your graduation is a little weird, but then your education has been a little weird, so. I want to congratulate the Rice class of 2026, their family, their friends, their loved ones. This is a tremendous accomplishment, and you had to work so hard for this moment. But I want you to remember today that you were never alone in that work. You had the support of your teachers and your community and your family and all those who love you. The great physician Paul Farmer said that with rare exceptions, all of your most important achievements on this planet will come from working with others, or in a word, partnership. And so while this achievement is very much yours, it emerged from a vast partnership. And I want to ask the graduates to just take a moment to think about all the people who loved you up into this extraordinary accomplishment. Those people are so proud of you right now. Some of them are here, of course, but I imagine a lot of them aren't. Some of them may even be gone from this world, and yet their love and care survives within you, as your love will survive in others after you are gone. I hope you can feel all that pride today and really celebrate your achievement. So broadly speaking, if there's no lightning, this speech has two portions. First, the advice-giving portion of the program, which is a standard facet of commencement addresses. By convention, my job here is to be an old elephant who tells you, the young elephants, how to be an elephant. But there is a problem, which is that I do not know how to be an elephant. The truth is, our current predicament is very strange, and if I have one piece of advice for you, it is this: be extremely suspicious of anyone who claims to know how to be an elephant. These self-proclaimed experts in elephant studies are almost always trying to sell you something, if not a product, then an overly simplistic worldview. I mean, what the hell is happening right now? Are you in a body, or are you a body? Why is the universe so big? Scratch that. Why is there a universe? How come we know the approximate age of many stars and their chemical composition, and we know how galaxies form, and we know when Cleopatra died, but we do not know why there is matter in the universe? So yeah, I don't know how to be an elephant. But I do have two more pieces of advice. First, you're going to hear a lot in the coming months about the so-called real world and how you're entering it, and how in this real world you will find yourself with a job, assuming you're lucky enough to have a job, where no one knows your name, or you have to wear a name tag, in which case too many people know your name. You will have to do many boring things like taxes and attending meetings, and you will be forced to participate in inane conversations about the local sports teams and especially about the weather. This so-called real world is tough and unforgiving, and it will take some getting used to, and you will have all your idealism and life force beaten out of you until you become a proper adult. But this is all lies. The world you are currently in, the world you have been in for the last 4, or if you're like me, 5 years, is also a real world. And nothing about adult life demands that you give in to whatever forces would deprive you of meaningful conversation and connection. My second piece of advice is especially oriented toward people who may not have clear career paths from their degrees. Maybe like me, you majored in English, or religious studies, or anthropology, or history, or any of the so-called liberal arts, and then you may find yourself, as I once did, having a difficult job that does not scream opportunities for advancement. Maybe you'll be living in Chicago, as I once was, and you drew the short straw among your classmates from college, and so they live in bedrooms and you live in the walk-in closet. And you stare up at the clothes that you'll wear the next morning as you lay awake at night, wondering what it's all about. And there may come a day, my friends, when you say, I should go to law school. I have flown here from sunny Indianapolis to tell you that you do not have to go to law school. You can. You can go to law school. You can have a wonderful life as a lawyer, as my best friend from college does, but you do not have to go to law school. Thus ends the advice portion of the program. Now on to consolation. Your high school years were marred by the emergence of a once-in-a-century, we hope, pandemic. Your college years have seen continued instability, including the rise of powerful new technological tools that are upending job markets and markets more generally. You are cursed or blessed to live in interesting times. Oh, there's a drone. And I understand the temptation to respond to this moment with despair, right? The reason this or that sucks is because everything sucks, because nothing matters. And as the entire monstrous human story reaches its hideous final acts, we'll all just sit here scrolling away the pain until the cold embrace of death finally overtakes us. And who cares anyway when everything that humans ever did or thought or cared about will be swallowed by the great God of time. The thing about despair is that it has tremendous explanatory power. Despair explains why there's so much suffering in the world and why that suffering is unjustly distributed, and explains why I feel a kind of soured stomach antipathy toward the whole human enterprise. But there are two problems with despair. First, it doesn't do anything. Like a replicating virus, all despair makes is more of itself. And the second problem with despair is that, like any overly simplistic worldview, it's wrong. I mean, it would be terribly sad and frightening to live in a hopeless world we cannot reshape, but it would also be easy. How simple to live in a world we cannot help or influence. But we do not live in such a world. The truth is much more complex than that, and much less easy for the class of Rice's 2026 graduates. Now, I'm old, but I'm not that old, and yet the year I graduated from college, around 10 million children died under the age of 5. Last year, fewer than 5 million did. That's the greatest progress in human history when it comes to child mortality, and it was not natural, it was not inevitable. It happened because hundreds of millions, or even billions of people came together and decided to value the lives of children more, to prioritize their survival. And yes, many of those people were nurses and doctors and midwives, but they were also insurers and poets and maintenance workers and bankers and, yes, lawyers. And so the truth is, there is cause for hope. Humans can be amazing. When we allow ourselves to be proximal to suffering, we are capable of extraordinary generosity. And yet it is also true that of the nearly 5 million children who will die this year, the vast majority could be saved with existing technology. These conflicting truths coexist. We are seeing unprecedented success at preventing child death, and we are seeing horrible failures at preventing child death. Holding that paradox without cracking up is much of what you've been learning to do at Rice. And so far as I can tell, that is the actual work of adulthood. That is the actual real world. To grapple with reality in all its glory and heartbreak, and to push the human story forward just a little bit in deep partnership with people you love. I simply don't believe that mere despair tells the whole human story. Instead, we are called to work with and for each other, to repair what is broken and to maintain what is not. We are called to love and be loved, to know and be known. And you are already doing that work. Long may it continue. Your graduation marks a pivotal moment in your lives, and I congratulate you on it. But you are already an adult, alive in this great and terrible world. And I find much hope in knowing that you will continue to do that work with love and solidarity and partnership. Good luck, Godspeed, and as they say in my hometown, don't forget to be awesome.